Imagine this: a colony of 115 men, women, and children set off to make a new life in the New World. They arrive, build a settlement, and establish their homes on a small island off the coast of what is now North Carolina. But 3 years later, when a supply ship finally returns, the colony is gone. Every person vanished without a trace. No signs of struggle, no bodies, just one cryptic word carved into a tree: CROATOAN. For over 400 years, historians, explorers, and armchair detectives alike have puzzled over the fate of the lost colony of Roanoke. Where did they go? What happened to them? And what does CROATOAN really mean? To understand the mystery of Roanoke, let's go back to 1584. England was determined to expand its influence by establishing colonies in the Americas, competing with Spain, which was already busy building its own empire. Queen Elizabeth I of England granted Sir Walter Raleigh the rights to claim and colonize new land in North America. Now, Raleigh was a man of ambition, and he was eager to make his mark with a successful English colony across the Atlantic. In 1585, Raleigh organized a group of about 100 men and sent them to establish England's first colony in the New World, located on Roanoke Island, just off the coast of modern-day North Carolina. But things didn't exactly go smoothly. The settlers clashed with the local Native American tribes, ran low on food, and generally had a pretty rough time surviving. Within a year, the struggling colony abandoned Roanoke and sailed back to England. But Sir Walter Raleigh wasn't about to give up. So in 1587, he sent a new group, this time with men, women, and children, to try again. This group of settlers, known as the Roanoke Colony, arrived on the island led by Governor John White. They started rebuilding, hoping for a fresh start, and even had the first English child born in America. Her name was Virginia Dare, and she happened to be John White's granddaughter. For a short time, it looked like things might actually work out. But as winter set in, the settlers realized they didn't have enough supplies to last. They convinced Governor White to return to England to gather more provisions and come back to help the colony thrive. So White made the journey back across the Atlantic in late 1587. But here's where the story takes a frustrating twist. England at that time was on high alert, preparing for war with Spain. Queen Elizabeth needed every available ship to defend against the Spanish Armada, so poor John White couldn't find a ship to return to Roanoke. He was stuck in England for 3 whole years, helplessly waiting while his family and the entire colony were left to fend for themselves. Finally, in 1590, the war with Spain eased up, and White managed to find a ship that could take him back. He was ready to reunite with his daughter, granddaughter, and the settlers, anxious to see how they had fared. But when he arrived, he found nothing but an eerie silence. When Governor White stepped ashore, the colony was deserted. The settlement was empty. Houses, fortifications, everything. Not a single soul was left. But even stranger? There were no signs of struggle or violence, no remains or graves, no sign of what might have happened to 115 people. White searched around and found only one clue: the word CROATOAN carved into a tree near the entrance to the fort. On another tree, he saw the letters CROW carved. It was as if the colonists had left a message, but had to do it in a hurry. White took this as a sign that they'd gone to CROATOAN Island, now known as Hatteras Island, which was nearby. The CROATOAN were a friendly Native American tribe that the colonists had made contact with, so it seemed possible that they'd sought refuge with them. But before White could investigate further or sail to CROATOAN Island, a storm rolled in, making the journey too dangerous. His ship's crew, desperate to head back to England, refused to wait, and White was forced to abandon the search. He returned to England, never knowing what happened to his family or the colony. Imagine spending the rest of your life haunted by the question of what happened to your loved ones without ever getting any answers. Heartbreaking, right? Since then, no one has found definitive evidence of where the lost colonists went or what happened to them. Did they die from starvation? Did they get attacked? Or did they assimilate with the CROATOAN people, living out their lives with the Native American tribes? Each theory opens up a new set of questions. Over the centuries, archaeologists and historians have found a few curious artifacts, like European pottery and weapons, but they haven't been able to piece together a clear answer. And that mysterious word, CROATOAN? It's shown up in other strange places too. In 1837, when the writer Edgar Allan Poe mysteriously died, legend has it that his final words were CROATOAN. There are other mysterious cases where this word appears, adding to the mystique surrounding Roanoke, though this may just be legend. But that hasn't stopped people from trying to solve the mystery. Let's take a look at some of the most popular theories about what really happened. So what could have happened to the Lost Colony of Roanoke? Here are some of the most well-known theories. Theory number 1. They joined the CROATOAN tribe. This is the most widely accepted theory, and it makes some sense. The colonists were struggling and running out of supplies, so it would have been logical to seek help from the friendly CROATOAN people on nearby Hatteras Island. Over time, they may have assimilated into the tribe, losing their English language and customs in the process. Theory number 2. They were attacked. Some believe that the colony was attacked by a hostile tribe or even Spanish forces who were known to be in the area at the time. The fact that there were no bodies or signs of a struggle, though, makes this theory less likely. Still, it's possible that some event forced them to leave quickly and seek shelter elsewhere. Theory number 3. Starvation or disease. It's no secret that the early American colonies struggled to survive, with food shortages, harsh winters, and disease always a threat. Some think that the Roanoke settlers may have simply succumbed to the elements, with survivors moving away from the settlement in small groups and eventually perishing. This theory doesn't explain the CROATOAN message, but it's possible that it was a last effort to record their location before they left. Theory number 4. A supernatural explanation. Okay, this one's for the fans of the paranormal. There are some who think that the colonists disappeared due to some supernatural or mysterious force, a curse, perhaps, that still haunts Roanoke Island. Maybe they were taken by a mysterious spirit or force connected to the land, or perhaps they crossed into another dimension. While there's no hard evidence to support this idea, it's one of the most intriguing and definitely gives the whole story a spooky vibe. Theory number 5. They moved inland. In recent years, some archaeologists have found evidence of European artifacts farther inland, suggesting that the colonists may have abandoned Roanoke Island and tried to settle elsewhere. This theory is still being studied, but it could mean that the colonists simply moved to a less isolated location with better access to resources. In the end, the mystery of the Lost Colony of Roanoke remains unsolved, making it one of America's oldest and most haunting mysteries. Each clue only seems to deepen the mystery, leaving us with more questions than answers. So, what do you think happened to the Lost Colony? Did they find a new home with the CROATOAN tribe, or did something far stranger befall them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more unsolved mysteries, strange history, and legendary tales.